dealing with item K, the revaluation and I'd like to ask Mac to come up with me and we will both field any questions you have. In the past, for many, many years, the state requires, at a minimum, an 8-year revaluation of Caldwell, of all property and throughout the state. For some time, Caldwell followed many other counties' lead in doing an 8-year revaluation cycle. As many of you may know, that created, in some cases, quite an amount of sticker shock. The values went up. The General Assembly has granted permission to local governments where you can reval more frequently if you so desire. And Caldwell County, some 8 years ago, I guess, 97, opted to go to 4-year revaluation cycles. So what we operate on here was a 4-year cycle as opposed to the mandated at least every 8 years. Some counties do 2-year cycles. Some, I think Mecklenburg even tries maybe every year.
They're back on the regular schedule and stuff now.
So
26 other counties have a reval same time as we do.
Yeah. So the normal or the current, let me say, the current reval cycle, the 4-year reval cycle, calls for the county to be revaluated in 2009, which, as you know, starts in January. And the process is one that we start with notices to the people about value changes. They go through an appeal process, informal and informal. And eventually, as the board looks at values down part of your budget process in late spring or something, in conversations with I think most, if not all, of the board members, there has been some sentiment voiced to at least discuss publicly tonight the possibility or the idea of delaying that revaluation, which is scheduled to start in this month, for a period of time. And I'll let the board follow up on their lead on those conversations. From a staff perspective, I'd like to summarize in that, as a follow-up to that query from the commissioners about what if, staff has talked to the state folks. There is a resolution that would need to be adopted that basically takes place of a previous resolution the board adopted some years ago. Now that merely says that we're going to, and again, this gets a little bureaucratic, so you're just going to have to apologize. I'm apologizing. It says it's going to advance the regular 8-year reval from 2013 to 2011. Well, the old resolution says you're going to advance it from 2013 to 2009, so we're replacing the 9 with the 11. But they want to see the same format of the resolution. So, in summary, we have done the due diligence. The board can delay the revaluation process. It does require the board to take some formal action by way of a resolution so that you officially notify not only the resident but the state about the intentions of the commissioners. Mr. Chair, with your permission, that of the board, that's sort of a summary. We have a copy of that resolution that basically says we want the reval to go in 2011 instead of 2009, which would be a 2-year.
Thank you.
And Mac and I'll answer any technical questions.
Okay, I would move that we move the reval. We have this resolution to move the reval to 2011 instead of 2009, and notify the appropriate state agencies and do the backup work. And with that, I'll open it up for discussion if there's any discussion from the board.
Well, I think the issue here is that every time you have a reval, and history is correct, when we went to 4-year reval, the main reason we went to 4-year reval was because of the sticker shock that you had with 8 years.
That's right.
Which is around 40% or more.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since reval, it's been somewhere between 15 and 20.
That's right.
It's never been 20. I don't think. It's always 18 or 19%.
Right.
Which has been some kind of savings. But an issue here right now is that we have a reval coming up. The economic conditions have gone south. I mean, big time. And in my opinion, I think that's the right thing to do is to delay it, you know, and not put another burden, a financial burden, on people who are going to have to increase, what is it, 15, 16, 17%?
And 12 to 15 somewhere.
Okay. And and I support this motion that we have this reval in 2 more years because of the way the economic conditions are right now in the county and everywhere else. It's at least, in my opinion, it's a way to help our citizens.
I think so.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
We will proceed from there administratively. Thank you.